The thing I loved the most about Don Rickles, honestly, the thing I love the most, and the thing I think I probably have the closest to him, is his relationship with Newhart.
Yeah,
Like the fact that they went to lunch every week. They went to lunch like every fucking week.
Yeah, that's you and Tom.
Yeah, like I like that I'm friends with someone for real.
Yeah,
like that we talk about like shit that, like we talk about stuff. We talk about our sisters, or we talk about our dads privately. Like there's a bunch of private stuff. Like
what do you?
Like there was a really hilarious fucking incident, and then being with one of the funniest guys in the world, and getting him to improv, and then just joking back and forth about something like that. That's like super valuable.
Bob and I had that, and Dave too, and it was. But getting back to like what it would have been if Rickles and Newhart had a show like this, the two of them, or like what you guys do, they would go on vacation.
We're definitely not. I don't mean to compare us to those geniuses, but like that. But like that is crazy. I was gonna say, what if you and Bob and Dave had a podcast? How fucking
maybe we I don't know, but we would have those conversations, but they would or text chains that you could never show anyone ever. Because they were just wrong. A lot of them were wrong.
Bob.
Yeah, Bob was, he could be.
I love that in your book that even the Bob I know today, the Bob I knew is the same guy that was the Bob in the rehearsal rooms at Full House.
Yeah.
Like his inappropriate jokes.
Oh, God, he was addicted to laughs, and he had to get it like a heroin or something.
He's like Mark Norman. Yeah, they're very similar dudes. Like, they always go for the joke's always there. The joke's the most important thing to them is getting someone to laugh. That is their focus is the joke.
But it's their hair. It's and he had comedy Tourette's. He couldn't stop.
That's Mark Norman. Yeah. That is fucking Mark Norman.
Which one is he, Mark Norman?
Mark Norman's got a new special called Soup to Nuts on Netflix. It's phenomenal. Yeah, he's amazing. Friends with Giannis. Yeah. That whole group of guys, that Giannis's whole generation is all fucking bangers.
Giannis's turn.
Giannis is.
But the interesting thing about you're talking about your sister, you talked to about your sisters with Tom or something. For the first few years, Bob and I didn't get along. I couldn't deal with it was just disruptive as fuck. And I'd come from doing a show with Jack Klugman for a couple of years, and Gary Marshall and all these great. That's where I met Gary. Would come in. They were writers on the show, and so every scene was like approached like story and character. And why would I say this? Why would I move there? And then I go to Full House. I try to have that, and Bob's, stabbing his cock with a fork, and it's like I hate my cock. And he's just stabbing it, or he would do da 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 da, and it was disruptive, at the very least. But after a year or two, we tried it. We were different guys. He had 3 kids, and I was a bachelor. So, but his sister got scleroderma. And
that's right. He had a foundation for it.
He still, he did. And sadly enough, his sister died and didn't get to see all the work that he did for scleroderma. Dave's sister had cancer; she died, and my sister had a brain tumor. And thank God she made it through. But so all of a sudden, we weren't just 3 guys on a show. We got connected on something much deeper, and we could put our differences aside and just work.
What did
together.
You guys talk about when you went to dinner? Like if
poop.
You would really?
Yeah, they were very foul poop, and inappropriate stuff.
Did Dave Coulier ever
shit his pants?
No. Did he ever? Were you guys ever on set and you guys heard Alanis Morissette and he's like, "That song's about me"?
Well, yeah, but that was so funny. Like that angry angst like chick who was like, I saw you in the movie. The guy who does Bullwinkle, hey, I'm Popeye and Bullwinkle was the guy in the movie theater going down on a thing.
Fucking so.
He called me when because I met her. I talked about it at a concert in Canada. And we were the Beach Boys, and he brought her, and she wasn't famous. And I brought him on stage for Bob Moran. I thought, I'll give him some points. I'll bring the girl. Yeah. And afterwards, she had these big hoop earrings, and she said, "Do you know anybody in L.A. in the music business?" I'm like, "No, yeah, well, maybe I don't know." Anyway, and it was her. So he broke up with her, broke her heart, and she's driving down, and the song comes on the radio. And he's, "Oh fuck, that's Alanis." And he goes and buys the album, Jagged Little Pill, puts it in a CD, and calls me. He goes, "John, I think I really hurt this girl. Listen to these lyrics." I go, "Those aren't about you." He goes, "Yeah, they are.
She sucked my dick in a movie theater."
Yeah, someone else. So, yeah.
It's the first time we saw Air Bud.
We didn't. That's interesting. What did we talk about? Well, Greg, you were around. It was a lot of jokes, a lot of, and I would get them to fight because they had those video shows, and I'd say to Bob, I said, Dave, or to Bob, I said, Bob, Dave's show's getting pretty good ratings. He's got a cute host and funny, and yours isn't quite doing. Yes, it is. And I get them fighting over whose show is. But Bob would say, "Fuck you, that show sucks." And I just slither away to the craft service and have a little turkey sandwich and watch the fireworks.
When was the last time you wanted to text Bob and you went, "Ugh"?
right now.
Right now, this isn't going well.
I was going to, get me out of this guy. A lot. My son has this great sense of humor, closer to Bob's than mine. He said the other day, he was like, he said, come on, let's go in the kitchen. I said, I have to take a pee first. He goes, if you hold your pee in longer, the pee nest goes away. I'm like, oh, that's a Bob joke. That was smart. The pee nest goes. I don't know. He's great. So I missed that, and I remember calling Bob early on, and I said, I'm not connecting with this kid like I thought I would. He said, wait till he laughs at you for the first time. And so it was that. I wish he was around for that.
This is a weird question. Did you get? Only because I only know this in passing, and I could be totally off. But I know Bob was a fan of things that like he had Rodney's joint box.
Oh yeah,
he had things that were kind of like commemorative of his heroes. Did you get anything of Bob's?
That's a great question. That's not a weird question. Yeah, I did. I have one of his guitars. Kelly, his wife, gave me. And I don't play it because it's my dog licked my balls, suck my dick, you can't do anything, straight with the kid, around the kids. And that's what Rickles used to do. Hey, my dog licked my balls. He would do an impression of, and Rickles would do an impression of, this is what he thought of Full House. He goes, hello, Daddy, may I have some apples? What the fuck was that have to do with anything? that was Full House. He didn't like that show. He said, I use that show as a nightlight, he said. I want to talk about him. I said, Bob, what was the question? Oh, so that, and his wife gave me I didn't know this. His favorite character was Jiminy Cricket, and so there's a statue that she gave me that was his too. It's very sad. He didn't know how loved he was, and when that guy died, it was like a tsunami of love. I haven't, since Princess died. I'm not even being funny. Like you remember all the outpouring of love? And
that was one that I think got all of the comics caught us off guard.
Yeah,
because it was like, I think he was at the Orlando Improv.
Yeah, yeah. He was in Orlando.
He had played Jacksonville the night
before.
And
he drove up, and it was. I'm telling you, Bert. He kind of said some of it in his post. He said, "I feel like a kid again, man." And he did 2 hours. He said, "That's the longest I've done." He took a picture of him on stage, before, and he was driving home, and he was just ecstatic. And he called called his wife and said, "Hey, I have this picture. Can you fix it up for me?" And he said, and she got it. She said, "It doesn't need fixing. You look so handsome, Bob." And they had a beautiful relationship. And then he went to the hotel, and I like to think of him coming to that hotel room after killing on stage. I mean, killing, and the feeling, and laying his head down on the pillow and dreaming of the next time he was going to see all of us, and the laughs were still happening, and and he had a smile on his face, I think.
He was such a great guy. I think he's one of those things where you don't realize how much people mean to you until they're gone.
Yeah. But he didn't know it, man. He was, and the problem was he was never going to be. He couldn't take a compliment for real. Oh, Bobby, you were great.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have 8 Netflix specials. He wasn't Chappelle. He wasn't these guys and Chappelle showed up and did a lot of stuff. And I said, man, you really made Bob feel great the last few years.
They were both really close with John Mayer.
That's right, yeah. But he said,
it's one of the, I love John Mayer. I think John Mayer is amazing.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that he was close with Bob Saget puts John Mayer in like a new echelon for me, where I go, oh, he's like, I know he's friends with Chappelle and stuff, but like the fact that him and Bob were close, I was like, oh, he's like a legit fucking dude.
Yeah, he is. He loved Bob for that. Bob liked me better, but and I like to tell John. But what we're saying, Chappelle. So, but he would never. He just never thought of himself as successful because he wasn't up there, and he probably was never going to get there. And that's the sad thing. He didn't know how loved he was. No fucking way.
Yeah.
And that's what kills me. Don.
It should have been Dave.
No.
That's horrible.
If we're real quiet, you can hear Bob going, "Yeah, you're right. Why the fuck am I up here?" Dave and him and Dave were best buddies, and then when I came around, Dave and I started to become best friends, and it was a weird thing. But
I never realized how much that show leaned on you and Dave. Like, it sounds silly, but I just remember, I didn't realize the show premise pretty much is you and Dave are raising children because Bob's working.
Well, don't tell Bob that. But
when was the last time you talked to the Olsen twins?
They came out for his funeral,
yeah.
And it was beautiful because we hadn't seen him much over the years, and they went off to New York and did very well, but we were all kind of disconnected. Bob was the through line; he would always try to get us together. But they came out for that, and they said all the things that we wanted to hear. We love you guys. We loved our childhood. We're so grateful to you. You were great to us, and it was special for all of us to get that gift.
I haven't heard from them or of them.
Do you know? Do you talk to them?
No, I don't know them at all.
Okay.
I don't know them at all.
Well, Ashley had a kid, which is trip, man. Like the whole thing is, if you would have told me these two little girls, were gonna own New York one day and be,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
They made all their money in like doing straight to DVD movies.
No fashion. They went to New York and started a fashion line, and $1 billion fashion line.
What do they look like now?
They're beautiful.
Olsen twins.
I
only remember them when they were like 18, where you're like, where I was an adult and I was like, whatever. Like it's like my sister.
Right.
So they were like everyone's little sister.
Yeah.
And now they're fucking
rich.
Now they've got to be like 40.
They got more money than Tom, I think.
No.
Yeah, no, they're not 40. They're 30 or something. Yeah.
How old are the Olsen twins in 2023? Go to that. No, it's already on there. It's already on there. It's already on there. It's like the first thing. How old are the Olsen twins?
This,
right there. Right? No, right. You just missed it. How old? There we go.
37?
Jesus.
I'm old. That makes me old.
Bert and Tom, Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call 2 bears, 1 cave.